I had to spend 40 minutes picking myself back up off the ground and wiping away the tears. And if you disagreed, go complain to your boyfriend by mentally ill leftists. Left-wing retards like Scott Snyder love this crap and instead gets interrupted by this stupid bitch. When you say I'm scared of black people, newsflash, you illiterate troglodyte. Everybody is. You can't stop looting and burning countries to the ground. And then out of nowhere, this big hulking transgender comes up behind him and is like, hey bro, I think it's my turn now. And just starts blowing the punching bag across the room with his big fat arms. Now, the character design going on here, he has the haircut of some fat emo transgender.
Let me just say that off the bat. Get it? This guy looks like a trans woman. I'm not saying it to make fun of him, but I literally thought he was a woman before I heard his voice. This is relevant and ironic because he calls a 6 feet, 300-pound Giga Chat Batman trans for whatever weird reason he has in his head. I wouldn't have anything against him usually, but for him to champion masculinity and belittle other people, or even belittle like fictional characters, which is just funny to do, it's highly ironic, is what I'm saying. Like, buddy, I know your rooms stink like crazy, and you look like a high school girl, but you talk like you're like some tough guy. Like, calm down. Nobody's buying it. If we were in like high school together, I would bully you and shove you in a locker. Hell, I would do it right now probably. Actually, he might still be in high school based on how he looks. And, you know, the lack of cognitive performance as well. You might think I'm being mean to this guy, but compared to the nonsense insults he throws at people, ranging from low IQ middle school to actually racist, I think I'm okay. And also, I'm not racist, so I won't make fun of his like pale, almost transparent skin, because at the end of the day, I'm against racism that's been done against minorities, as well as even white people, as crazy as that might sound, I know. He isn't though. Just listen to him talk about black people as a group. Not specific ones, not some ideology, but the entire race of people.
When you say I'm scared of black people, newsflash, you illiterate troglodyte. Everybody is.
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
You can't stop looting and burning countries to the ground. Next time you're driving to work and you're enjoying your Marxist Batman comic, try not to get robbed or shot by your fellow brothers. To create an argument, you actually have to make some valid points. You can't just dance around throwing your arms up in the air, making weird noises like you did. It makes you look like a Neanderthal who hasn't picked up a comic except Watchmen in his entire life. Stay in your own lane and go back to anime. You low IQ mental retard.
He calls this other dude out for having a mental breakdown, quote unquote.
Before we get into this pile of dog crap, I'd like to thank the Midnight Drop for sending a massive amount of people over to my channel with his insane mental breakdowns.
Like, it's so weird how like people who just hate certain things, you just slap the label woke into it.
I'm retarded?
Thanks, bro. It's always cool to see some support from the disabled community.
But here's how this guy reacts.
All I'm just gonna say this, man, it's like, you could say what you want, like what you like, dislike what you dislike, but like when you take my image and you put it in your video and you call me out of my fucking name through some editing tricks and think that's gonna be okay, it's not. I'm still gonna call you the fuck out, but besides that, it's just like, that's your most viewed video, so I guess it's working for you, fam. I don't fucking know, dude.
And here's how he talks in his videos.
When you say I'm scared of black people, newsflash, you illiterate troglodyte. Everybody is. Let's just get that through your thick skull first of all. Left-wing retards like Scott Snyder love this crap because they get a pat on the back every single time they force a black person into their stories. My sweet mother of God, who hit Robert Pattinson with a bus? Try not to get robbed or shot by your fellow brothers. You can't just dance around throwing your arms up in the air, making weird noises like you did.
To get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
Like, one guy is stoic but passionate and generally calm, while St. Patrick over here is so triggered and emotional that he needs to delete the comments that disagree with him, or at least not approve them on his channel. I'm not even joking. Look at his biggest videos. They both have similar amount of views. They both have similar likes and dislikes, but look at the amount of comments. One of them only has half, and magically the same very one has no criticisms or disagreements, while the other, with double the comments, is mostly people calling him out. You know you are right when you delete every single comment that doesn't agree with you, and you call your opponent's race scary. Like, what are we even talking about? How is this person considered rational in any way, shape, or form?
So DC has decided to reinvent Batman in the brand new series, Absolute Batman. Many people are saying it's amazing, it's a breath of fresh air.
This shit is gas, man.
Wrong.
This shit is gas. Like, is this what DC meant when they said DC all in?
I'm kind of retarded.
I'm here to tell you if that's the truth. Spoiler alert, it's not.
Hello, I'm Seth. At the beginning of that dude's video, and I just picked up issue 2 of Absolute Batman today. Absolutely loved it on my way to work. I saw this dude's video, thumbnail right here, and I noticed that it had the word woke in it, and it feels like anytime somebody has something to say that it's woke, their opinion is wishy-washy. And I watched this dude's video, and spoiler alert, I did not like his opinions at all. I don't think a lot of people in this comment section like his opinion, but 15 to 20 seconds in, my face shows up. Like, how crazy is that? Like, you're literally watching a random video on YouTube and then your face literally pops up and you're just like, boom.
Before we get into this pile of dog crap, I'd like to thank the Midnight Drop for sending a massive amount of people over to my channel with his insane mental breakdowns.
Like, it's so weird how, like, people who just hate certain things, you just slap the label woke into it.
I'm retarded?
Thanks, bro. It's always cool to see some support from the disabled community.
To look at one guy sitting there calmly, explaining his position, saying, hey, you're wrong, and genuinely being kind of chill. Like, keep in mind, all this guy did was saying, I like this comic, I like Absolute Batman. This other guy gets on his ass, attacks him, calls him a bunch of insults, screams at him, and then when the guy responds, this guy still cries that guy responded. He's like, why would you do this? You send me all these people in the comments to attack me. It's like, no, he didn't send anybody to attack. He responded to something you said. You attacked him first. He responds and then you still complaining. You're still the one crying about it. That is insane. You are not a victim, little bro, as much as you want to be. You don't want to be called a victim, but you act like a victim when you are not a victim.
You say I'm scared of black people. Newsflash, you illiterate troglodyte. Everybody is.
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
You can't stop looting and burning countries to the ground. Next time you're driving to work and you're enjoying your Marxist Batman comic, try not to get robbed or shot by your fellow brothers.
Okay, what country did black people as a race burn to the ground? Are you talking about the BLM protests? Because while I agree that writing was bad, some people might defend it, but I'm not. It was bad. I agree. Are you also forgetting that was like 93 or 97% peaceful? Like 90+% of those protests didn't turn out with any violence, even in the slightest. And even of the percentage of the protests that turned into riots or some amount of violence or something, the majority of those was not anywhere near serious, just percentage-wise, objectively speaking. And there was like millions of people across America and even other countries around the world. Would it be fair to call all Europeans bad for what they've done to not only the natives but Africa? Because I guarantee you, They've done much worse, even to this day in some countries. But it would be completely ignorant of me to put the blame on every single average folk just because they share the same race as those people.
You can't stop looting and burning countries to the ground. Next time you're driving to work and you're enjoying your Marxist Batman comic, try not to get robbed or shot by your fellow brothers.
Also, I don't know what you think America looks like, but it's not Mad Max. The country didn't burn to the ground, nor did any of the cities. There have been buildings set on fire, and I think that was bad, yes. But to argue that a few buildings burning, as insane as that might sound, is the same as a whole country being burned to the ground, and that a small group of people represent a race of billion individuals? Are we going to declare all Republicans insurrectionists? A higher percentage of them agree with Gen 6 than African Americans agree with burning down buildings. So by your logic, every Trump voter, it's literally a criminal. Like, what?
So Absolute Batman issue 2 is out, and my expectations were low, but I didn't think it would be this bad. Trust me, the mediocrity just continues. So some people would call Absolute Batman woke, but I'd prefer to break it down and explain to you what it really is. It's just another mediocre story infused with undeniably lazy identity politics by mentally ill leftists. Let's just get that through your thick skull first of all. Left-wing retards like Scott Snyder love this crap because they get a pat on the back every single time they force a black person into their stories. Just because it's an alternate universe doesn't give you the right to race swap characters. And
For me, the first time I saw Commissioner Gordon in this comic, I thought he was like black or like light skin, so it wasn't a surprise for me that his daughter was black. If I had to guess why this happened, it's not like some secret agenda. I think it's more closer to corporate synergy. The Batman was a huge success, and the actor cast in that iteration of Gordon is black, meaning that if Barbara gets introduced in that universe, she will also be black, and the same goes for Caped Crusader. They couldn't change the main line out of nowhere, so they got their new series that's supposed to be popular to reflect something new Batman fans would know, aka the Batman movies. So in a way, it's kind of preemptively making her black in the comics, so when she's introduced in like the Batman or in Cape Crusader or other shows and movies where Commissioner Gordon might be black himself, a Barbara that's black would make more sense. I think that's kind of where they're going with it, but it also could be just a cringe like politics thing where like they think, okay, we're gonna appeal to like black people by having one of our heroes being black. That's also possible, you know. But the idea that there's some like crazy secret agenda and that it's made by like communists and Marxists, it's like, okay, bro, calm down, buddy. It's not that serious.
So then Martha Wayne, who should be dead by the way, comes to visit Jim Gordon in the hospital. Why is she in the story again? I have a prediction as to why they'd leave Martha Wayne alive in this universe. Maybe it's so later on she can become some well-known villain as a big plot twist. But that's just what I'm thinking. I don't know any other reason why she should actually be in the story.
I like how this guy saw a woman character and was like, there's just no way this could be justified. The reason she is alive is pretty obvious. This isn't billionaire Bruce being raised by a butler. It's a working class guy raised by a single mother. It informs his character very much. He's not an orphan driven by vengeance immediately, swearing to revenge his parents. He only lost his father. And he becomes a delinquent, loses himself, as the comic puts it. And only for him later on, after years of being a troublemaker, to straighten and starting to build himself towards being the Batman, while his mother is a voice in the community that works for the betterment of the city. Bruce Wayne as a persona changes from detached, cocky, orphan guy to wholesome son who loves to hang out with his mother. Those relationships are totally different. He's not alone anymore. He has a parent to be there for him. The fact that you can't even comprehend why she could be of any narrative purpose is honestly embarrassing.
And instead gets interrupted by this stupid bitch. What? What in the name of Jesus Christ am I reading? Why is this cringe dialogue included in the comic? If you can't see why this comic is unbelievably cringy, then I don't know what's wrong with you. And in issue 2 of Absolute Batman, Black Barbara Gordon shows up once again. But this time she actually gets to speak. And she's insufferable. We get this scene where Jim Gordon, Harvey Bullock, and Black Barbara are...
This guy is the funniest guy ever. He keeps calling Barbara Black Barbara like it's a super villain. You can tell the resentment in his voice, which is funny to me because he's obviously triggered while calling others triggered.
I'm sick and tired of this trash, and I'm done giving it a pass. It's not even well written or drawn. If you call yourself a comic fan, you should be reading older and better comics. If not, then go back to anime and the movies. I've triggered so many people by just having an opinion about this comic.
The idea that old comics good, new comics bad, has been around as long as comics themselves. It's actually similar to the idea that US comics bad, Japan comics good, which is... I'm sure he'd disagree with that, as he hates anime, but what I'm getting at is that there's always more nuance to the conversation. There's really good comics going on right now, or even in the past few years, as well as manga that are amazing right now. It's not just a matter of time and geography, and the reductive way people look at stuff like this is very annoying and disappointing. You can enjoy stuff from different points in time and from different countries. I think it's fine. You don't have to be some weirdo about it, you know?
If not, then go back to anime and the movies. I've triggered so many people by just having an opinion about this comic.
Comic book fan that hates anime and movies is a very specific genre of person, and I think it's genuinely hilarious. Like, it's the most nerd weirdo Big Bang Theory person ever, but instead of autism, he's racist.
The whole comic is totally normal, except for just 2 panels. Now, when I first saw these, I had to spend 40 minutes picking myself back up off the ground and wiping away the tears of laughter. The first one, Alfred, who still looks idiotic by the way. My sweet mother of God, who hit Robert Pattinson with a bus? You couldn't have redone this one panel. Really? And look at what we got. Once again, I don't know what the artist was smoking, but goddamn, what is going on here? Bruce literally looks like Frankenstein. What's up with his forehead?
Dude is acting like it's going to be like the worst art ever, and it's not going to be. I mean, I will give him that. It doesn't look great, but the amount of complaining and crying about it and the build-up, you would expect, oh my god, this is going to be the worst thing ever. This is going to be so ugly. It's like that one comic book cover with Captain America, you know? You think that's how bad it's going to be. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, ugly. And that's about it. It's like, okay, you didn't have to complain that much about it. You didn't have to give it so much time of your video. You're obviously exaggerating for runtime or for outrage or for whatever the hell the reason is. You're not being sincere.
This comic is a mediocre mess. Stop having mental breakdowns because I don't like well-established white characters being changed to black. If someone made Storm, Black Panther, Blade, or Spawn white, you'd riot. Literally.
Mostly a protest. It is not generally speaking unruly.
Notice how he says you instead of himself. Like, he doesn't say he wouldn't have a problem with it. If the races of all those characters would have changed, I'm sure he would be fine with it. He would be okay. He would be like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Feel free to give the message to your mother because I'll be over at her house tonight. So read.
But you are not tough. You're not some tough guy. Calm down. You're not going to go to anybody's mom's house. Hell, I don't think you've left your house in like this whole calendar year, okay? Calm down. You're not going to anybody's house.
And if you disagreed, go complain to your boyfriend.
Dude, you absolutely have a boyfriend. There's no way you don't. Stop the cap. Bro's like, complain to your boyfriend. Bro's trying to be homophobic when he looks like this. Like, it doesn't work, buddy. You look like a twink.